Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 59 of the Dear Herbalist podcast titled The Healing Process. Now, in this episode, I am going to talk to you about the body's physical as well as emotional healing process. I think that this information is very important for us as herbalists to know, but also to explain it to our clients so that they can understand that physical and emotional healing is in fact a process. Now, you may have clients come running to you. Listen, I don't want to hear about no process. I just want to lose 100 pounds in 2 days, or I just want to get this disease cured in 35 minutes. I don't want to hear nothing about no process. But that is not how it works. Everything in life, I feel and believe, is a process. Healing is a process. Dis-ease even has a process. So we want to talk about processes today so that you can explain it to your client. That way they have a more realistic picture of how things are going to go once they decide to get on their own healing journey, whether it be physical or emotional. So let's get into it. What is healing? Now, healing comes from the Old English word heling, meaning healing. The verb to heal in Old English was helan, which means to cure, save, make whole, sound, and well. So in essence, healing is considered a process because it involves multiple interconnected stages that occur over time and often requires an ongoing effort as well as your ability to adapt. It requires adaptation. This process-oriented view allows for a more comprehensive understanding of healing in both physical and emotional contexts, so that you can kind of monitor your client as they go through their journey to see, okay, where are you at in this process? Or you can monitor yourself or your family members, whoever, and say, okay, based on what you're saying to me and where you are right now, this is kind of where you are in this healing journey. And it's a beautiful thing to monitor, to struggle at first, even if you're going through it yourself. But as you go and keep going through it, you'll be able to look back, especially if you're journaling it or you're documenting it some kind of way. You'll be able to look back and see like, wow, I went through this process. I went through this journey. And I think that'll give you a greater sense of pride. So let's look at some key stages of the healing process. Stage 1, recognition and response. So the body's immune system, which is a very, very, very strong and powerful system. Don't sleep on the immune system, people. Please don't. I know people like to think there's something wrong with the immune system. My immune system is attacking me. No, the immune system is immune systeming. If the immune system is not working, then something is wrong. Something caused it to do that. If the immune system, and this is just my theory, if the immune system is looking at itself and attacking itself, then that means there's something on that particular cell that the immune system looks at as foreign. What is that? I've always thought that. I've always wanted to research that. I plan to do it myself. But what is it on that cell to where the immune system is not able to recognize it as yourself? It is not able to look at that and say, wait, that's a self cell, so I shouldn't bother that. No, there's a mask, right? Something's covering it to where it can't identify itself as self. So it attacks it. And once that coating is gone, the damage is done. So somebody breaks into your house, right? They got a mask on. You don't know who it is. You got a gun. Next thing you know, you shoot. And as you shoot them, they fall. Then the police are called. They come over. Next thing you know, you snatch the mask off your face. You realize it was your child. See what I'm saying? Something is covering, in my opinion, your cells to where your immune system is not able to fully recognize that that is my cell. This cell belongs to my body. Just my opinion. So the immune system is a very strong and powerful system if it is not coated in toxins and junk. If it is not overly stimulated, it will work as it's designed, and it recognizes the presence of any type of dis-ease or pathogens or abnormal cells. It is designed to recognize these things. And so once it does that in stage 1, which is recognition and response, this triggers an immune response in the body to say, hey, we need to go over there and take care of that. Something is not right here. So then that leads over to stage 2. Now, stage 2 is inflammation. And this is often the first step, right, in the healing process. But we always forget to talk about the first step, which is you got to recognize it, right? You got to recognize what is this. So once we've recognized what it is, the body has recognized what it is. Now it starts the inflammation process. Now the inflammation what it helps to do is isolate the affected area and mobilize the immune cells. So it walls off that infected area. It's like a wall of fire, as I like to call it, which is also similar to the compartmentalization that trees do. So look into that. That's a very interesting comparison, how it kind of blocks off as well. So as the body activates the inflammation process, the inflammation isolates the affected area and mobilizes the immune cells. This can cause symptoms like swelling, redness, and heat in the affected area. So the next step to the healing process in the body is the immune system activation. So now that the body has done the inflammatory process, let me say it that way, the white blood cells and the antibodies are produced at this point to fight off whatever that particular pathogen or abnormal cell is. Now, this process can cause symptoms like your fever. As the body increases its temperature to create a less hospitable environment for the pathogens, it is able to do what it needs to do to help get rid of it. So a lot of times people are like, yeah, my child has this fever. I got to hurry up and get rid of the fever and all that. And I'm like, you don't want it to be, obviously don't want your fever too high, right? But you definitely don't want to hurry up and jump to reduce the fever so quickly, because the body is using that so that the environment that is in there, basically so that the pathogens or, the abnormal cells can say, hey, we thrive in this environment right here. But when you turn the heat up, we can't. And the body knows that. So it's like, let's turn this heat up so that the pathogens aren't comfortable. They got to pack up their stuff and go. It's like, it's too hot around here. I feel like I'm in Arizona in the desert somewhere. I got to go. I can't sit here and multiply. I can't pitch my tent. I can't do nothing. I got to go. It's too hot. So that's stage 3, immune system activation. Stage 4 is elimination of pathogens. So the immune system works to destroy or neutralize the dis-ease causing agent. Stage 5, after the pathogens have been eliminated and all of that, now the body begins to repair any damage caused by the dis-ease or the immune response. And this can involve a process similar to wound healing, which includes the cells kind of reproducing and tissues kind of remodeling. That can happen here at the tissue repair stage. The body's kind of cleaning house. All right, we done fought the war. We done identified the person, the agents. We done walled them off so that they couldn't run out and try to go out and get somewhere else or go to the other parts of the tissues. We done successfully eliminated them. There were some casualties. We had a few cells get poked and prodded and all that. So now we got to go repair that. And once we've done that, then we move on to stage 6, which is homeostasis. And homeostasis means balance. So the body attempts to restore balance and normal function to all of the affected systems, or any of the affected systems that were affected. The body achieves this through various feedback mechanisms, where sensors detect the changes and trigger responses in different organisms, such as adjusting the heart rate or your blood pressure, adjusting your body temperature or hormone levels, all to bring the body back to its optimal functioning. And when you study the body, I'm going to do a side note real quick. When you study the human body as an herbalist, it's going to make you a triple threat. It really is, because the human body is such an amazing, amazing, amazing creation that it can do the healing itself. It really can. And I think a lot of herbalists, because we don't know enough about the human body, we say that the body can heal itself, but I don't know how much we really believe it. Right? And so it's my goal as the herbalist educator to merge that knowledge of the human body with herbal medicine, and with the heavy emphasis on the human body. So when you listen to a lot of my podcasts, you'll hear me talk about various things with herbal medicine because it's important, because I'm an herbalist, right? The plants and all that kind of stuff. But you're going to hear me have a heavy emphasis on the human body, because I think if we say, which we do, that the body can truly heal itself, if we just put the proper conditions in, then we have to really know that. We have to really believe that. We have to understand all the mechanisms that are involved in healing, as well as the mechanisms involved in dis-ease. And that's why I say we would be a triple threat, because we understand the human body, but we also understand the medicine that is used to help balance the body. And this medicine doesn't have 4011, I know ain't a word, but I'm saying it, 4011 side effects. So this is the reason why you will hear the demystified herbalist heavy on the human body. And I hope that you can appreciate that, because I definitely get excited about it. And you also hear about the plant body as well. I won't leave that out. And I also won't leave out medicine making, formulation. All of these things are very important in herbal medicine, but you got to study the body and you got to get to the meat of the body. It doesn't mean that you have to know all the layers, of the skin and the cells and all this and that, but it's important to know the functions. What's the structure of the body, but also what's the functions? What does it have in place already to help heal itself, right? What mechanisms are in place? And so if you can understand the mechanisms, you can understand all the parts, then when symptoms manifest, then you'll be able to go exactly to that particular area and figure out, okay, what's going on here? Is the body speeding up something because something is present? A threat is present? Or does it not have enough of something? Is there a deficiency there, right there in the heart or right there in the kidneys? And as a result, this is manifesting. This helps you to add or to create more targeted protocols. Because with protocols, especially in herbal medicine, they have to be very specific to your client. They have to be very specific. You can't do generalizations. You have to have a clear understanding of the body and what's going on. And you have to have a clear understanding of the herbs and the plants and what they can do in that process to support the body. That is what they're here for. So that basic foundational understanding has to happen as herbalists. So if you are a new herbalist, please understand that. And that's why my name is Demystified. It doesn't have to be hard. You just have to want to, first of all. You have to have good reasons. It can't be to be a capitalist, a negative one, I guess, but to help, general help and concern for the ailments of man. So sorry to get off on that side note. But I wanted to say that I think that's very important. Definitely will be a lot of, heavy on the human body and all its processes, because I'm just fascinated by it. It draws me closer to the Most High, because I'm like, wow, like when you said you didn't leave us here without help. Now, obviously we understand he was talking about, in the English, the Holy Spirit, in Hebrew, the Ruach HaKodesh, that he left us there for sure, but also he left us here in a house in our bodies that can weather any storm, that can deal with anything that, it comes its way. It's been polluted. It's been tainted. Okay. And so because of that, we've opened up ourselves in this realm to the diseases or the plagues, as they call them, of the Egyptians. So because of that, we have to go back to our roots and our foundation. Stop eating the stuff in Deuteronomy that we ain't supposed to be eating. You got to get rid of that. A lot of that stuff that's written in there, it's in our foods. And it's in some of the most unusual food, but it's in there for a purpose. Because if we can dilute our bodies and taint our bodies, we can leave ourselves open to dis-ease. And I believe the powers that be know that and understand that, and that's why that happens. But that's a conversation for another day. So we talked about stage 6. Let's get back on track. Homeostasis, right? The 7th stage is adaptation. In some cases, especially in chronic conditions, the body may find a way to adapt. Okay. It may find another way to function or to compensate for the ongoing issues that are occurring in that particular area. So the body adapts to chronic conditions by making physiological and psychological changes to maintain the function. These adaptations can include either altering a physical response, developing new coping mechanisms, or reorganizing bodily systems to compensate for ongoing health issues. And though the body can do this and it has this amazing feature, you don't want it to do that. You want it to be at proper balance, everything working how it's supposed to be. You're grateful that it can adapt, right? But you want to be full steam ahead. not just trotting along, you know? So let's look at stage 8. Stage 8 is ongoing maintenance, okay? So the body continues to manage symptoms and to fight against disease progression. So it's very important to know that this process can vary greatly depending on the type and severity of the dis-ease that you may have or your clients may have. Some conditions, okay, can overwhelm the body's natural healing abilities, requiring stronger protocols, or in some cases, medical attention. All right, arms falling off, foot turning green and starting to mold over. It's like, as an herbalist, if you get to that point where you can't, it's like, I can't, this is beyond my scope of knowledge and all that, take them to the emergency room. Like, don't sit there and be like, yeah, let's just wrap it up in a leaf and see what happens. Don't do people like that. All right. I do think that emergency medicine has its place. Okay. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So don't get yourself hurt or sued or anything like that, because you could have done something a little different, or just understand ahead of time if you're going to need a stronger protocol for that particular client, right? Now, the body's ability to heal itself can either be supported or hindered, all right? That's the important thing to understand, by factors such as nutrition, rest, stress levels, and overall health status. Now, you hear the word rest. I'm about to go on a side road here. You hear the word rest all the time, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I get rest. I get an hour's sleep. I get this and that. They don't necessarily see rest as a part of the healing process. It is very important. Not only is that while you are asleep, okay, the body can focus on internally what's going on, how it can help, how it can repair. Okay, that's one part of it. The other part is energy. It needs energy to do that. And if you are someone that is up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are overstimulating your nervous system, therefore draining your nerve energy. So if you don't have the nerve energy, even when you are asleep, to repair, you're going to set yourself up for severe health issues. So you have to rest. You have to rest your mind. And a lot of people are like, oh, I lay down in the bed and that's enough. Yeah, but your mind is racing. And guess what that's using? Energy. To think is energy. To sleep is energy. To wake up is energy. To blink is energy. To smile is energy. To walk is energy. To talk is energy. To lift your hands in the air. That's why people who are going constantly, eventually their body will crash, because it's done. You have exhausted your energy and you have nothing else in your reserves. So energy is a real thing. I know some people get spooked out by it, because a lot of times people try to use it as this, this mystical, I'm just, your energy is kind of moving around. And, I know sometimes people sound like they got these big turbans on their head and a crystal ball sitting in the front. I know. So y'all making us look crazy out here, herbalists. Okay. You're making us look crazy. You need to stop. Okay. But energy, ATP, okay, is a real thing in the human body. And if you find yourself without rest, sleep, as well as rest of mind, if you find yourself without that, and you have a chronic disorder of any kind, you will continue to have that disorder. Now, if you guys hear me say okay 1,000 times, I just want to make sure you understand. If you met me in person, or if I had a class or you came to one of my classes, I'd probably say okay too. I know it may be annoying hearing it on podcasts, because sometimes when I go back and I edit my videos, I said okay like 50,000 times. But it's just because I really want to make sure you understand. And I'm talking to you as if you're sitting right in front of me, even though you're not. And usually you would say okay, or wait, I had a question about this. Right? So I try not to say okay 1,000 times, but if I do, charge it to my head and not my heart. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. Get the message. Don't let the delivery, the message be lost in the delivery and not exactly what I'm saying, if that makes sense. Okay? But rest is very important. So please make sure that you get rest, especially if you are a person who is providing care to anyone else. You too need proper rest so that you can, replenish that nerve energy. And if you have clients who their nerve energy is drained, then they're going to have to take some time off. Okay. So that the body can do what it needs to do and get the energy where it needs to. Okay, because that too is a part of the healing process. The healing and the rebuilding and those type of things all require energy. And if your energy reserves are shot, I mean, you know what I mean? How is the body going to be able to do it? If that electrical current is not going as it should in the car to keep the car going, the car is not going to run. Sure, you can put the starter in, you can put the engine in, you can put all that stuff in, but if there's no electricity going through that, it's not happening. You can plug the light into the wall, okay? And sit there and wait and wait and wait. But if that electrical current is not flowing through that wall, that light bulb is not cutting on. It's the same thing with the body. If those electrons and all that stuff going through the body, your nerves and all that is not shooting and firing at all cylinders, you can forget it. And if you have a dis-ease or disorder, the body doesn't even have the energy to heal it because you were exhausted. So you have to rest. If you are blessed with the capability to be able to take time to sleep and to rest, rest. If you have a wandering mind and you find it hard to rest, the scriptures say cast your cares on him because he cares for you. So before you go to bed, you need to pray. Get all that stuff off your chest and close your eyes and go to sleep. That requires faith and it requires trust. And if you don't have it, you got to build it because you need to rest. Now, speaking of emotional health and emotional healing, we as herbalists, we believe that we are a 3-part being, spirit, soul, and body. And so emotional health is important. It's just as important as physical health. So let's look at some emotional healing stages. Okay, this is just as important. Now, just like physical healing, emotional healing also follows a process that can be categorized into stages. So stage 1 is awareness. During this stage, you are recognizing and acknowledging whatever emotional pain or trauma that needs healing. That's stage 1. Stage 2 is acknowledgement. So at this stage, you're accepting the reality of the pain and taking responsibility for your healing journey. All right? You're accepting that, hey, this hurts, this sucks, but I need to start to work on this so that I can move forward in my life and have a better quality of life. Stage 3 is acceptance. So in the acceptance stage, you are embracing the possibility of healing and committing to the process. Step 4 is feeling the pain. Allowing yourself to experience the emotions. Step 4 is feeling the pain. So in this step, you are allowing yourself to experience the emotions associated with the trauma. So in stage 4, you are actually feeling the pain. So during this stage, you are allowing yourself to experience the emotions that are associated with the trauma without avoiding them. If you suppress the pain or suppress the issues, your body is going to continue to bring them up to force you to deal with it or to address it because it can't hold it anymore. It doesn't want to hold it. It doesn't want you to hold it anymore. That's why it keeps coming up. That's why you keep having dreams. That's why you keep thinking about it. Because you didn't allow yourself to experience the emotions behind that. Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you frustrated? Say it. Do you need to tear up $2 worth of toilet paper? Do it. But you have to experience the emotion, disappointment, guilt, shame. You have to experience it. You cannot avoid it. Emotions are energy in motion, meaning that energy has to move. Okay? If it does not move and it stays stagnant, then it will cause problems. So energy in motion, emotions, it has to move. So feel the pain, whatever it is, or encourage your clients to feel the pain, whatever it is. And do not try to avoid it because it's not going anywhere. All right. The next stage is grieving. So during this stage, you're mourning the loss that has occurred resulting from the trauma. It could be a loss or it could be more than one loss. But in this stage, you are mourning the losses that have resulted from the trauma or traumatic situation. Because there is a loss. You may have lost a person. You may have lost yourself. Okay? Whatever that loss is, mourn it. The next stage after that is forgiveness. So letting go of any anger, resentment that you may have towards yourself or that you may have towards others. Forgiveness takes that boulder and that brick off your back and off your shoulders and allows you to move forward, which is moving on to the last stage, moving forward. So in this last and final stage, you are committing to a new direction and purpose in your life. You're setting goals and you're seeking support as you need it. You have a new awakening. You have a new hunger and thirst and zeal for life that you didn't have before. You dream again. You laugh again. You love again. You look at yourself in the mirror and you don't see what you once saw. You can smile again. You have that style again. You have that spark. And not only do you see it and feel it and believe it now, other people will start to see it too. They're like, what you do? Girl, you looking good. Or dude, hey man, what you doing there? You looking like you done got it together. You know, I don't know if they'll say that, but men are a little different, right? They just like, oh, okay. I see you, man. I don't know. They're not as wordy as women are, right? But you'll have a glow. And what is that glow? Freedom. That glow is feeling like you can walk on air. You're no longer bound, because those type of anger and resentment and suppression of things, it binds you and you don't realize it, but you feel the residuals of it. And so when you're set free, there's a lightness to your eyes. There's a lightness to your feet. You see things differently. We've delved into the stages of physical and emotional healing, from immune response and tissue repair to emotional awareness and forgiveness, understanding that these stages empower you to support your body's natural recovery, as well as embrace holistic well-being. Remember, healing is a continuous journey involving both body and mind. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I pray that I've been able to give you some nuggets to help you continue on your path to health and balance. And if you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media platforms at The Demystified Herbalist. And until next time, family, I'm out.